get our first detail on literally within the next 30 seconds.
For your own safety, we hope everyone is seated because, as Rachel said, these are some real closings coming up starting at the top of this next hour. And for that, we're going to swing outside to what we've always affectionately referred to as home ice advantage. It's 7 o'clock in the east, and here are the first projections of election night 2016 in the state of Georgia. We are calling it too close to call. 16 electoral votes. Both parties were fascinated like a hurricane with a last-minute wobble before coming on shore. Both parties want it very badly. In Virginia, ditto, 13 electoral votes. Too early to call, simply not enough vote, though we're told Clinton is in an early lead. Here is the first projection in the Trump column of Decision 2016. That is the state of Indiana, home, obviously, of his running mate, Mike Pence, the governor there currently, 11 electoral votes. Indiana, we are projecting, goes to Donald Trump, as does Kentucky. 8 electoral votes there. That's 2 in a row for Donald Trump. We also have the first projected state for Hillary Clinton. And look, of all places, it's Bernie Sanders, Vermont. 3 electoral votes, but the first nonetheless. Our electoral temperature, if you will, all evening long, we're going to be tracking up the side of our building. South Carolina just added too early to call, though Donald Trump in an early lead. Too early to call means we simply don't know enough. And down onto the ice we go. The race to 270. It's 3 for Clinton, 19 for Trump. We don't have much red or much blue quite yet, but in a little while it'll look much different. The rink will. And there you have our first call.
Reiterating those 2 very interesting calls right at the top there. Georgia, too close to call. Virginia, too early to call with Hillary Clinton in the lead. South Carolina, also too early to call with Donald Trump in the lead. It's worth just reiterating what the difference is between too close and too early. With too early, unless you're getting an indication from the news desk, from the elections desk, about who is in the lead. Otherwise, too early means absolutely nothing in terms of how this might end.
Joining us, we've had our 7 o'clock closings. Here are in gold on the board the 7:30 closings, and 7:30 has arrived. We have the first return will be Ohio, too close to call. Valuable 18 electoral votes. North Carolina, we were just discussing it, too early to call. Simply not enough raw result in. West Virginia, on the other hand, gets added to the Trump pile. 5 electoral votes. Speaking of electoral votes, let's see where they stack up. The night is young. There's our electoral vote thermometer there. Donald Trump in the lead, 24-3. Of course, 270 needed to go up and over. The races we're watching, we just wanted to let you know where they are. State of Georgia, still too close to call. Very early percentage of raw vote in. Commonwealth of Virginia, too early to call. And despite how these numbers might look, our tally has Clinton in the lead, while the state is too early to call. And in South Carolina, too early to call, and our tally has Trump in the lead there. So let's look at the red and blue map, starting to fill in a little bit, though there were very few real results here at 7:30. See not so much a red wall as a kind of Louisiana-shaped squiggle through the
a lot of people, he kept saying you can't change Washington if you don't send the people, different people to Washington. And I think that resonated. I think the fact that Roy Blunt's been around so long actually worked against him in this race.
Hey, Senator, forgive me. I have to interrupt. We have a projection. South Carolina now on the board for Donald Trump. 9 electoral votes there. Let's take a look at the road to 270 in map form as South Carolina takes its place as a red state. This just came in at the end of the senator's last answer there.
Senator, apologize for that. But this tells us the overall electoral
there you go.
numbers at this point. At this point, 4 states called for Donald Trump: Indiana, Kentucky, South Carolina, and West Virginia. 1 state called thus far for Hillary Clinton. We're about to hear from a number of states at 8 o'clock, including Senator McCaskill's home state of Missouri. Senator, let me ask you to finish your thought there about Jason Kander, Roy Blunt.
I just was saying that, this is a hard year to be so familiar to voters.
Steve Kornacki, thank you very much.
By the way, you are Steve Kornacki, with or without graphics. We look at you as Steve Kornacki, master of graphics, but there's so much more there. We have 16 states in the District of Columbia here as we approach this hour. We have a lot of more projections as we approach this hour. And let's do it. 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Let's go outside to Rockefeller Plaza. Up the side of the building we go. The state of Florida. We have as too close to call 29 electoral votes. Pennsylvania, too early to call 20 electoral votes. New Hampshire, too early to call 4 highly fought over electoral votes. Illinois goes to the Clinton column. Of course, the home originally of Hillary Clinton. Big state, 20 electoral votes, part of the blue wall, as is New Jersey, the most densely populated state in the union with 14 electoral votes. That goes to Clinton, as does the Bay State, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, 11 electoral votes. Adding to the Trump bloc in the South is Tennessee. We're projecting that when all the votes are counted, he will receive those 11 electoral votes. Maryland, reliably Democratic Maryland, goes to Hillary Clinton, 10 electoral votes there. Alabama, 9 electoral votes going to Trump. Oklahoma out in the Midwest will go to Donald Trump, 7 electoral votes. Back up we go to New England, the state of Connecticut, the nutmeg state, 7 electoral votes going to Hillary Clinton. Mississippi, way down south, going to Donald. We have awarded it to Donald Trump. Rhode Island, we keep whipsawing back up north to New England, and part of our story is in this whipsaw, actually. 4 electoral votes from the great state of Rhode Island. Delaware to Hillary Clinton, home state of Joe Biden, going to Hillary Clinton. The District of Columbia, longer talk we could have about taxation without representation there, going to Hillary Clinton. The state of Missouri, we were just hearing from Senator McCaskill. We have this as too early to call, with Clinton leading the... Okay, Trump is leading in Missouri, too early to call, with Trump out front. And in the state of Maine, too early to call, with Clinton in the early lead. Let's go to those other races we are watching so far. 75-66 in the race to 220 in electoral votes. It's early yet. And here is how the map looks. We've just added in some more red, and we've just added in some more blue. But a map maker or a political scientist looking for a trend, looking for regions, looking for who we are as a country, you're starting to see that ink blot test. Here are the races we are still watching. Ohio, too close to call, and this could be a while, given the 16% raw vote in. Georgia, too close to call, another closely watched state in the South. North Carolina, too early to call. Virginia, too early to call at this point, but a lead on Clinton's part.
Bob Kerrey went back to Nebraska, got beaten. Fritz Mondale went back to Minnesota, got beaten. It's very hard to go back politically.
Yeah. Another break for us. We're back with the 8:30 polls right after this. We are back, starting with one of the battlegrounds. Virginia has moved in our projection from too early to call to too close to call, from simply not having enough raw vote in to the raw vote we have in makes it too close to call. So we will continue to watch this. There's all kinds of internal politics and vote counting in Virginia going in to making a projection there. Here's the 8:30 poll closing, and that would be the state of Arkansas. The state of Arkansas, home to Bill Clinton and for a time Hillary Clinton, goes tonight to Donald Trump, part of the Red Wall. The Republicans are amassing 6 electoral votes. Here's the race to 270 early in the evening. Hillary Clinton 75-72. And let's take a look at the too close to call state of Florida. 29 electoral votes. You see the margin separating 91% of the vote in. Sooner or later here, we're going to see why when the Democrats are talking to us about how confident they are, if they're right or wrong, in plain English. Ohio, too close to call, 31% of the vote in. Georgia, one of the early closing states, too close to call, 16 electoral votes. Let's see here. Pennsylvania, too early to call. North Carolina, we have at too early to call. Missouri, too early to call. Advantage Trump. Trump is in the lead. New Hampshire, too early to call. Those 4 valuable electoral votes. Maine, too early to call. Advantage Clinton thus far. Down onto home ice we go. Let's take a look at how the country looks in red and blue. The expanding red out from the middle Atlantic states. Patches of blue, but they're valuable patches. Both will be added upon. Back inside here to a big projection, a kind of big picture projection about our form of government, and that is that the GOP will remain in control of the House of Representatives. Eastern time. Here are the polls closing, all in gold. There's the list to the right. Let's go outside and begin this thing. Here are the states we are watching at 9 Eastern. It's a long list. Get ready. Michigan, too close to call. Arizona, too early to call. 11 electoral votes. Wisconsin, too early to call. Colorado, too early to call. Texas has been awarded to Donald Trump. Texas stays red, as does Kansas. No wobble there. Sportsman Paradise, Louisiana, 8 electoral votes projected to Donald Trump. Nebraska, projected to Donald Trump. The state of New York, reliably blue, and its 29 electoral votes stays with Hillary Clinton. North Dakota, Trump to go with it. South Dakota, Trump. In the Rockies, Wyoming, 3 electoral votes, Trump. Minnesota, too close to call at this hour. New Mexico, and this was fascinating to see the action out there. Too early, Clinton leading. Let's look at our bar graph and look at the only numbers that really matter tonight, and that is the race to 270. And right now, Donald Trump is leading that 137 to 104.
Donald Trump more than halfway there to 270 if he is going to hit 270.
So here's what we're looking at in terms of battlegrounds. Florida, too close. Ohio, too close to call. Georgia, one of the early closes, too close to call. North Carolina, a genuine battleground. I'm sorry, Georgia, too close to call. New Hampshire, too close to call. Virginia, too close to call. Missouri, too early to call. And Maine, Too early to call. Clinton ahead.
Interesting. We've only got about 4% of the vote in Missouri and in Maine. That gives you a hint as to why those are too early to call. But the call is not early. It's close in Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, Ohio, Georgia. A lot of uncertainty right now. And Trump really locking up the traditional red states. The Democratic pipe dream that Texas will someday go purple, if not blue. That pipe dream stays in the pipe for another cycle.
There is the red wall.
Look at the contiguity, the
contiguousness
of the Republican support in the Electoral College, all except for that one South Carolina, all connected.
That is the red wall of the GOP from north to south and almost from east to west. We're waiting for the Western time zones, obviously. Yeah. Both Mr. Carville and Mr. Schmidt exercising a whole lot of caution. The American people have a funny way of making sure they get heard, and they are being heard tonight. 10 o'clock hour is 5 seconds away. Here we go.
States here. This is
in gold. There they are. Here are the closings. This hour, it is 10 p.m. in the state of Iowa. Our call for right now is too close to call. In the state of Nevada, our call for this hour is too close to call. In the state of Utah, and remember, favorite son in the race, three-way, too early to call. Clinton, Trump, McMullen. In the state of Montana, the Big Sky State goes to Donald Trump. So that red band, that red wall continues its trek west with the time zones. Here's the electoral race, 140, 104. Here is the electoral. Here are the too close to call states: Florida of the battlegrounds, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Georgia, Michigan, all of these too close to call. North Carolina, 81% in. Virginia, we've talked a lot about Virginia this last hour.
Look how close.
Minnesota, 12% of the raw vote in. New Hampshire and Maine, too early to call. Here we go. Arizona, 11 electoral votes. Missouri, Trump in the lead, too early to call. Wisconsin, Colorado, and New Mexico. Let's pan down to the ice and bring up the map. Blue and red on Democracy Plaza. Here's your country so far. The states we've been able to call as the time zones head from east to west. You can see the big states we are waiting for.
Utah is such an interesting case study. Not even a case study. Utah is its own case, its own standalone politics and dynamics this year. If Evan McMullen is able to win the state of Utah tonight, and again, our call right now is that Utah is too early to call, and it is a three-way race between Trump, Clinton, and McMullen. If he wins Utah, that would be the first time a third-party candidate or an independent candidate gets electoral votes since George Wallace, right? 1968? I mean, if he can actually win that state, there's obviously Evan McMullen is not going to win the presidency, but if he wins that state in Utah, that'll be its own kind of history. But it is striking to see both Iowa and Nevada at this point as too close to call.
It could also throw the race into chaos if we come down to a place where neither of them can get to 270. If he wins, his win in Utah could be what blocks either one of them from getting to 270. With
those 6 electoral votes, though, there's also 2 potentially faithless electors out of the state of Washington, which is expected to go for Clinton, but 2 Bernie supporting.
Barack Obama got out of Oakland County.
Hey, Steve, I got to interrupt you. We have a call. This projection, New Mexico is going to Hillary Clinton. Remember the hubbub when Donald Trump showed up in New Mexico a few days before the election? Everyone said, what do they know? What do they know? Both parties, what do they know? Here's the electoral map, 140, 109, with New Mexico now.
5 electoral votes there, yeah.
That will give them a patch of blue to the west of Texas. So there's your map. Mr. Kornacki, please continue. Apologies.
No problem. I understand. So we are talking about Oakland County. This is the heart of the college-educated white voter. This is the big college-educated white voter county in Michigan. And you see, mostly in right now, Hillary Clinton's won it. Used to be a Republican county. Now Clinton wins by 8 points. But we said keep an eye right next door tonight on another giant county outside Detroit. That is Macomb County. Macomb County is where that term you hear in politics, Reagan Democrat, comes from. This place went for Reagan in the 80s. It swung back to the Democrats. Barack Obama won it. These are blue-collar white voters. Check out what's happening. It's early in Macomb County. Barack Obama won this county 4 years ago. Barack Obama won this county 8 years ago. Democrats said all those stories about us struggling in Macomb County, they're a thing of the past. Well, check this out. Donald Trump, it's early here. He's leading by 20. This matches what polling showed, though, in the run-up to this election might happen in Macomb County. This is a county that's going to churn out at least 400,000 votes tonight. Donald Trump, if this holds, this is a major shift within the state of Michigan. This is a big reason why his campaign decided to target this state. Now, if you're a Democrat, you still have some counties that are yet to come in. We can take a look at Wayne. This is where Detroit is. It's not just Detroit. You'll end up seeing about 800,000 votes come out of here. This will end up probably going Clinton's way in a big way. Also, right next door, this is where the University of Michigan is. College town, very liberal. A lot of votes still to come there. One quick thing we can point out, too. Where did Hillary Clinton go when she went into Michigan? She went right outside Grand Rapids. She delivered a speech that was all about her relationships, friendships, willingness to work with Republicans. She was trying to make inroads in Republican Michigan. This county 4 years ago, Mitt Romney got 68%. Clinton spoke there yesterday. You see, it may have made a tiny impact, but 63% for Trump there right now.
Steve Kornacki, can I just ask you one quick question, Steve?
Hang on, I got a projection. NBC News is projecting that when all the votes are counted, Donald Trump will be the winner in Missouri. 10 electoral votes. Another piece in the Midwest and another patch of red. The race to 270 looks like this: 150, 109. Let's look at Missouri on the map.
Thank you.
Steve Kornacki, can I ask you one impressionistic question in terms of what you've been watching tonight? No, I can't.
Oh.
You there,
I'm here.
Steve?
Yes, sorry.
Hi.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I was hiding behind a pillar.
If you...
We are back. We have a major call coming out of the vote. We'll try to get it up there, and it is Ohio. Donald Trump, the projected winner in the state of Ohio. 18 electoral votes, a hugely important piece of real estate where that comparison is concerned. 168, 109 in the race to 270. Here's where it looks like, this is where it looks like as a color, filling in the red alongside Indiana to the west of Pennsylvania, down on through West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, and so on.
Ohio and Iowa had been the two traditional swing states that the Clinton campaign felt like were, or the Trump campaign felt like were most within their grasp. Iowa and Ohio consistently have been polling in ways that have been favorable to Donald Trump. Obviously, Ohio is the archetypal battleground, but I think everybody's been feeling like it was leaning toward him. Still, that's got to shake the Clinton confidence even more than these other close races do right now. I do want to point out one thing about North Carolina, which we are watching so intently right now. Again, North Carolina is one of these states that is too close to call, and it has been so for a very long time. Even right now, with 83% of the vote in, it is still too close to call. And in Nevada, we've got Joe Heck, the Republican, up against Catherine Cortez Masto, who's the Democrat trying to take Harry Reid's seat there.
We have
also too close.
Excuse me. We have a major projection. In the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, the projected winner is Hillary Clinton. Casey Hunt?
Campaign breathing a sigh of relief there.
Sure, sigh of relief. And, you know, we were talking earlier, and I had a source talking to me about, and forgive me for using a House race as an example here, but Barbara Comstock, she's a representative from Northern Virginia, Fairfax area. I'm told her internal polling had her tied. And at the end of the day, she won, or she looks like she's on track to win by almost 10 points with 90% of the vote in. Really? So we have been talking about what may have gone wrong here. And even if Hillary Clinton comes out on top here, it's very clear there was something going on in this polling. I think that's a pretty sharp example in an area that should have gone over.
I was just checking that race you're talking about. It's Virginia 10, Barbara Comstock, seen as a bellwether race.
Yes.
She is the projected winner in that race right now. It looks like the margin.
Michigan at this table.
Lawrence and our specialists, our insiders, thank you. We have another projection. Just as we were going to sneak away to a break, we have another projection, and that is that in the state of Colorado, when all the votes are counted, Hillary Clinton will pick up 9 electoral votes there. As we look at the race to 270, here's the bar chart, 168 to 131. Let's see what this looks like in blue and red. It certainly starts a vertical for the Democrats out west. They have a known vertical in California along the Pacific Ocean. But Chris Matthews, listening to those, our colleagues in the other studio, interesting.
Look, there's no other word for it. This is a surprise. And that, you know, I've been looking at these maps going back to whenever they started making them, and it's beginning to look like a familiar map. It's beginning to look like a map we've gotten used to. And Colorado is more liberal than most of the West, and New Mexico is more Hispanic. And we're going to see that logic continue. I think the patterns that we're looking at, how Northern Virginia, though, is holding strong for Hillary Clinton. And not as strong as they thought, but it's going to be there. The suburbs of Philadelphia have let to be heard. I think Pennsylvania is strongly going to go for Hillary Clinton. And the fascinating thing is that Michigan, which was picked up on the radar screen of the Trump people about 2 weeks ago, for people that don't seem to have all the mechanisms and apparatus of politics, they had good ears.
And an airplane.
Yeah, and they picked up
Track through light brush. Neither of them has a yellow brick road that you can see from space, right? These are pretty narrow paths that each of them are going to be following, and that's why individual states like Michigan may end up being the thing that everybody in the country is watching.
And channeling our old friend Tim Russert, who we always miss, especially on nights like this, we have all vowed to rename Michigan temporarily just by saying it 3 times. Michigan, 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 given its importance tonight. Here are our 11 p.m. poll closings. There they are in gold. We've gone all the way out west, and here we go up the side of the building. In the Golden State, in California, the projected winner is Hillary Clinton. Note the electoral votes, 55. In the state of Washington, Hillary Clinton, the projected winner. In the state of Oregon in the Pacific Northwest, Hillary Clinton, the projected winner. In the state of Hawaii, 4 electoral votes, Hillary Clinton, the projected winner. In Idaho, interesting race, as we've been saying, Donald Trump, the predicted winner, 4 electoral votes. Here is the bar graph to 270. Here is the math. Right now, Hillary Clinton 209 to Donald Trump's 172. More on that as we continue. Here are the states we continue to watch. Too close to call, and these are some big ticket items. Florida, Pennsylvania, Georgia, one of the first states to close tonight. Here we still are. Michigan, Michigan, Michigan. North Carolina, 15 electoral votes. Minnesota with 10. Iowa, still too close to call. Nevada, still too close to call. Ditto New Hampshire. And the state of Maine, which we have moved from too early to too close, with not even half the raw vote in. Now, the list of states we are characterizing too early to call: Arizona, Wisconsin, and Utah. Let's take a look at the Reds and the Blues down on home ice. In this road to 270, unmistakable color patterns, but a West Coast bulwark with this 11 p.m. Eastern time poll closing. for Hillary Clinton.
It's interesting. At this poll closing, this is the first one where we've had all of the races called. We had no too close, no too early in the races that just closed right now at 11 o'clock. Also, no surprises. Had any of these been a surprise, it would have been seismic. But yes, Idaho is going to be red. The whole West Coast is going to be blue, including the island state of Hawaii. We only have one state left to close now, which is Alaska. That's the only state outstanding in terms of its poll closing. We're just waiting on states that are too early.
Around forever, and a guy who has all these Washington connections, a real leadership type, and up against this guy, Kander, who knows how to lock and load a gun with his blindfold on. You know,
military intelligence officer.
More fascinating ads of this cycle.
But you see there, I mean, it's too early to call, less than 40% in, but Blunt has a pretty big lead in terms of the vote that's in already. New Hampshire and Kelly Ayotte's race, that's very
We have
close
a projection. Donald Trump is being awarded North Carolina.
Whoa. Well, that's a pitch.
Just came in 15 electoral votes. This makes all kinds of different paths even more interesting. There's the electoral race, 209, 187. Here it is in color.
We're going to have to start talking about the deer tracks again, the paths to 270 at this point.
It's still contiguous.
Yeah.
It's all red together there.
Well, yeah, if you're going to hike it, that's useful. But in terms of who's going to be president, I want to know the numbers.
Together.
Hey, Lawrence O'Donnell, I want to hear from James Carville.
We've got James Carville and Mike Murphy here. And James, you were
people putting their making their stakes in terms of what's going to happen at market opening, down nearly 700 points tonight, with Donald Trump having such a better night than a lot of people thought he would.
The Dow futures were not on the minds of the people who have turned vast stretches of our country red this evening. We have a call, the state of Florida. What we are terming the apparent winner, Donald Trump. In the state of Florida, 29 electoral votes. The apparent winner terminology. Here is the electoral math. 216 Trump, 209 Clinton. The race for 270, here's how it plays out visually. So much talk about the paths to 270. Who merely wanted Florida?
Right now,
who needed it? We have another call back-to-back. Utah, Trump. 6 electoral votes. The projected winner in Utah. Here we go. 222, 209. Back down to the ice we go for the depiction in color. Red and blue.
Well, still connects.
And the remaining gray.
In terms of the swing states tonight and how they have gone, we've got Hillary Clinton, just in terms of swing states and battlegrounds tonight, prevailing in Virginia, in Colorado, in New Mexico. We've got Donald Trump prevailing, according to NBC News projections, Donald Trump prevailing in North Carolina, Ohio, and Florida.
I need to interrupt with another one. Trump wins Iowa, the projected winner in Iowa. We've had a flurry of projections here. 6 more electoral votes for Donald Trump this evening. 228, 209.
Again, the number that you're going for here is 270. That's the number of electoral votes that you need in order to win the presidency.
Steve Kornacki has just run.
And I truly believe that a good education and a good job is a lot better than giving somebody welfare.
Would you like to be part of it?
I like what I'm doing right now, Chris. It's too early for me to think about anything like that.
We got a call to make. Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. Excuse me.
In the state of Georgia, one of the earliest to close, one of the latest to be called. Donald Trump, the projected victor there, 16 electoral votes. A lot of talk that the Democrats would be able to convert that. As you see our chart, 244, 209 in the electoral votes. And down on the board, It is a continued march of Republican red sweeping the American South. Chris?
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, you still on? Okay, we lost him. Well, there you go. That map of red is continuous. It's contiguous. It's crossing the country. And I still think this election's up in the air. I still think Pennsylvania is going to decide this thing. What do you got?
This is a change in status for us. Wisconsin, Arizona, too close to call, too close to call.
They had both been too early before.
They had both been too early. Note the percentage of official vote in and note the difference. This is not yet decided.
And we haven't heard really from...
Thank you. Invaluable.
While a lot has happened, we're also watching a lot yet to happen. We're going to fit a break in here. Our live coverage continues right after this. We are back, and we wanted to just take stock of the states that have yet to be called. Pennsylvania and its 20 electoral votes still too close to call. Michigan is also on that list, as is Arizona, still too close to call. Upper Midwest includes Wisconsin. We just had a projection. This is a call interrupting our list. Hillary Clinton is the projected winner in Nevada with its 6 electoral votes. Here is where that leaves us, 244, 215. Trump over Clinton. And here's what the map looks like with the pickup of Nevada for the Clinton campaign. You see the coastal argument people have been making. It's pretty hard to deny that we are a coastal blue country. Steve Kornacki has been looking at the state of Pennsylvania. He's been looking at the path to 270. You name it, he's got it.
Let's take a look in Pennsylvania right now in terms of, oh, that's the wrong thing. Let's try to get Pennsylvania up here. I'm sorry, this thing is about to collapse, I think. Let's see if we can get in Pennsylvania.
Come on, Pennsylvania.
Come on.
Come on.
See?
Will it?
Click on. There it is. We got everything but the results. Let's see if those come up. Oh, for God's sake. Guys, can you come back to me in a minute?
Yeah, we will.
That's unbelievable.
In terms of outstanding states right now, we've got 6 states outstanding, and it's an interesting grouping. We've got Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. We've got New Hampshire and Maine in the Northeast, and then we've got Arizona in the Southwest. So 6 states outstanding altogether, with Nevada now off the map and in the Democratic side. What was that for, Chris?
No, I'm just amazed at the ethnic breakout of the country, the way it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what's going on is not a pretty picture.
No, it's not pretty at all.
Yeah, I'm just watching it when you get a tremendous black vote out of the city of Philly, and then you have this counterpunch.
Yes, you do. I mean, you had very robust turnout among Latinos, among African Americans, who came out, who delivered the votes, but there was a much bigger turnout from those rural areas, from those small towns, from not.
What a night. This morning, NBC News projects Donald Trump, the president-elect of the United States.
At this hour, Trump has 278 electoral votes to Hillary Clinton's 218. And he told the crowd at his election night headquarters in New York that he had received a call from Hillary Clinton conceding the election. And according to Kellyanne Conway, President Obama has called as well.
Going into Election Day, he had a narrow path to victory, and he threaded the needle with wins in must-have states like North Carolina, Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, even Wisconsin. At this hour, Arizona, New Hampshire, Minnesota, and Michigan have yet to be called.
It was a historic wave, unlike anything we've seen since Ronald Reagan's Republican Revolution in 1980. This is now Donald Trump's revolution. And it's just as shocking to the elites and the political class in 2016 as it was when Reagan was swept into office 36 years ago.
And how the night unfolded was just as head-spinning as was the final